Hello, it's Eric here, and so I'm sitting once again in front of the Gothic-looking building, and I kind of like sitting in front of this Gothic-looking building, because I get a lot of inspirations, and so like now, I just got an inspiration about, how FTX collapsed, and so I think a lot that has been written, has been reported about the collapse of the infamous collapse of FTX and the downfall of SBF, yeah, and yeah, I just want to give you my take, how the whole situation went down, and then I think somebody sent out a malicious tweet, and that caused the fall in the FTT token, and then FTX lost a lot of collateral because of that, and so therefore FTX collapsed. Yeah. Now let me explain more in details. Yeah. And I think the whole culprit is just because of somebody sending out a malicious tweet about the quality of the FTT token. But let me explain the situation to you. So people said that how FTX collapsed is like this. Like for example, FTX they do crypto lending and crypto borrowing services. Yeah. Like for example, a customer A comes to FTX and said that I want to borrow some bitcoins, and I'll give you some US dollars for collateral. Yeah. And then customer B will come to FTX at the same time, and customer B will say that I want to borrow some dollars, and I'll give you some bitcoin as collateral. Yeah. And so therefore the whole thing basically balances out. And so therefore FTX now has a little bit of bitcoin, a little bit of US dollars as collateral. Yeah. And so therefore everything is fine, and but some commentators said that the sin number one, the mistake number one that the FTX made was FTX kind of used this Bitcoin and dollar collateral to do rehypothecation. Yeah. And then so therefore for example, a customer C came to FTX and said that I want to borrow some Bitcoin, and then I will give you some other tokens as a kind of a collateral. Yeah. And so in other words, FTX, does have some bitcoins and some dollars, yeah. So therefore, FTX decided to, lend the bitcoin to this customer C, yeah. And then so therefore, FTX basically is rehypothecating against customer C using FTT as a collateral, yeah. And so that's mistake number two, yeah. And so most of the commentators said the biggest mistakes that FTX made was two mistakes. Number one is FTX did a lot of rehypothecation. That means they lend out their collaterals either in terms of Bitcoin or dollar to other customers, and so therefore FTX is hypothecating against FTT as collateral. Like for example, customer C is using FTT as collateral, so therefore the other way to say it is that the FTX is rehypothecating their collateral reserves against FTT as collateral for another customer. And so that's there are two mistakes in there. The commentators said the first mistake is that FTX did too much rehypothecation. That means they lend out too much of their collateral reserves to other customers. And mistake number two is that FTX is rehypothecating against their own currency, against their own token, against their own stock as collateral, and that is a no-no, yeah. And I think mistake number one is okay, granted, FTX may have done too much, rehypothecation, but I mean that's how you make money, in the crypto market, or in general in finance, you rehypothecate, you lend out the customers' deposits, or you lend out your collateral reserves to other customers who want to borrow them, yeah. And then as long as the market is not too turbulent, everybody should be happy. The customers are happy, and you're happy because you can earn a bit of a fee from those customers, yeah. So I think there's nothing wrong with rehypothecation, as long as you don't overdo it, yeah. I mean, granted, I think FTX might have overdone rehypothecation a little bit too much, yeah. But I think the second accusation that FTX is rehypothecating against its own stock, its own token as collateral. That's the no, that's a mistake. I think that's hogwash, I think that's bullshit, In my opinion, I mean, there's nothing wrong with rehypothecating against your own stock or against your own token as a collateral, There's nothing wrong with that. People do that all the time, Like, for example, I can, I can open up a margin trading account with the JP Morgan, yeah? And so in my margin trading account, I can also buy and sell JP Morgan shares, inside my margin trading account, So therefore, there's nothing wrong, inherently against a company like JP Morgan rehypothecating against its own stock as collateral, People do that all the time, yeah? And FTX is no exception. They are just rehypothecating their own tokens as collateral for other customers, like customer C, There's nothing wrong with that, And as long as your own stock, your own token is a quality token or quality stock, yeah? And I do believe that before the FTX collapse, the FTT was a good token, a good quality token, yeah? It has been a good token for many years, And I mean, I don't believe that, I don't buy people saying that FTT was a poor quality token and so therefore it collapsed, yeah? I mean, are you telling me that all those people who have been buying and selling FTT were stupid idiots, yeah, over the past few years? Are they stupid idiots? I don't think so, yeah. I think the collapse of FTT is mainly because somebody tweeted sent out a malicious tweet about the quality of the FTT token, Given the crypto market is already on edge, any idiotic thing you say about any particular token can cause it to collapse, Even if the company is a high quality company and the token is a high quality token, And so therefore, I think the main culprit is that somebody who I think he knows who he is. That somebody sent out a malicious tweet about the FTT, and then that caused the FTT to collapse, the value of a FTT token to collapse, and so therefore the collateral that FTX is holding instantly vaporized, so therefore FTX has no more collateral, for the other customers, and so therefore FTX went into liquidity problem, solvency problem, and things like that. Yeah, I think the main reason is because that somebody sent out a malicious tweet about the quality of FTT token. Yeah, and I'm not going to name names, but I think that is the main reason why FTX collapsed. Because somebody sent out a malicious tweet about the FTT, and because FTT is the main collateral for FTX, and so if FTT collapsed, then that means that FTX has no more collateral, and so therefore FTX has gone into liquidity issues and solvency issue, with the other customers, And I think that's the main reason why FTX collapsed. Yeah, and I feel so sorry for SBF. I like that guy. I think he's a smart guy. I think he did a lot to promote the crypto industry, and I'm just so sorry to see him go down like that, And I hope that somebody who sent out that malicious tweet, and I hope that he rots in hell, And anyway, so that's my 2-cent take on this whole situation, and so hopefully in the next video I'm going to give you some more cheerful reporting of the crypto industry, All right, I'll see you then. Bye.